you didn't know, I tell stories. Sometimes, when I feel like it. Sometimes I need a little help. As old folks need help, I'm aggravated to tell you. Of course, you know the worst thing about getting old is forgetting stuff. The mind is a terrible thing. I can't even remember what I had for breakfast, or even if I had breakfast at all, but I can recall the tiniest details of something from long ago. Now, I'm saying this because I'm setting you up for what I'm here to tell you about. It's a kind of a personal story about something that happened to me when I was 5 years old, and only just now figured it all out. Well, I hope you can bear with this old woman's reminiscing, because I wouldn't want to bother you with this if I didn't think you'd get something meaningful out of it. So, when I was just a wee thing, my dad made me a swing out of a sturdy old rope and a pine plank. He hung it from a tall, husky branch of an old oak that towered over our backyard. I tell you, I squandered many a long hour in that swing, pumping high, trying my best to touch the clouds with my toes. I'd swing and swing, daydreaming and talking to God. Now, I'll tell you something I never did tell no one. He talked back to me sometimes, too. Now, I don't go around telling that, because folks don't bat an eye if you tell them you talk to God. But they'll not waste a minute grabbing you up and having you fitted for one of them white jackets if you say God talks to you back. No, nobody wants to hear that, especially if they haven't heard from God personally themselves. But back to the swinging. What I really wanted was to fly in the clouds. I wanted that so bad I ached all over trying to wish it into being. Well, one soft summer day, I was so focused on that, I tried to strike a bargain with God that if He'd allow me 1 hour of flying in the clouds, I'd never tell a soul. Well, I think I wanted it so bad because I believed if I could get up there where God was and look down, I might get an answer to a question that had been resting heavy on my little old shoulders. And that question was, why? Why was I here? Now, of course, I had no way of knowing at the tender age of 5 that philosophers and educated theologians had been posing that exact same question since the world had been in diapers. But I believed even then that I had a reason, a grand purpose for being here, and I just want to know what it was. Well, we'll skip ahead here for a number of decades. I grew up, got married, had a passel of kids, and I won't lie to you and tell you I was always an angel, but I did try my best to live each day with God's rules in mind, just trying to be a vessel of honor as much as possible and do more good than harm to this world. But all my life, I continued to believe that I had some fixed and specific purpose. One day, God would tap me on the shoulder and tell me, "Okay, Mother Eartha, this is what I want you to do." Well, here I am, older than dirt, and after all this time, I only finally got my answer. And it wasn't what I was expecting, of course. See, recently, I got to take my very first ride on a big old airplane. Now, I don't mind telling you, I was a mite nervous. I sat all tightly buckled in, my eyes shut, and my fingers are gripping the armrest like they was welded to it. The plane rumbled and shuddered, and finally, after what seemed like an hour, it leveled off. I thought for a minute I was going to be sick, but that passed, thank goodness. You know, after a little bit, I let my fingers relax, but I kept my eyes shut. Well, now, who knows why we do things? Did I think not seeing would help me keep the plane in the air? I don't know. Finally, I did feel a little silly, and I opened one eye for a peek. Well, folks was just sitting, talking, reading, and I noticed, not paying much attention to the nice young woman who was telling us about the plane and informing us what to do in case of an emergency. Now, I don't mind telling you, the parts about using our seats as flotation devices was a real comfort to me. So I started to relax. And then I turned my head and I looked out the little old window. And that's when I saw them. Clouds. Big, white, fluffy clouds. So close to me I thought I could reach out and touch them. They were all around me. I was flying in the clouds. You know, that's when it hit me, and I was filled with a sudden flush of understanding. Now, I don't think it was revelation, because them's for holier folks than me, but I'm here to tell you that I did feel the whispered voice of God saying, "Here's your answer, Mother Eartha." You see, first of all, we need to understand about prayer and what it really is. You know, it's how we acknowledge that we have a relationship with God, and that He wants us to reach out to Him. And God does answer prayer, but because He isn't bound to our time, our clocks, or calendars, He has the final say about when and how prayer is answered. More importantly, what I came to understand as I played up there in the heavens and God's marvelous, fluffy creations was about purpose and why we're here. We are so small, and yet every one of us counts in God's eyes. As puny humans, our little brains might not comprehend a supreme being who can keep track of all of us at the same time, but He does, even if we don't understand. It doesn't matter what we are, male, female, what color, what nation of birth, handicapped or whole, rich or poor. What matters is who we are for Him and what we do with the talents and the opportunities we have been granted at birth. You know, the interesting part and the hardest to grasp about all this is that God gives us free will too, and the right to choose to be part of the grand purpose or part of the opposition. We can decide to do that which makes things better or worse. It's our choice. Though we all have different skills, we all start out with the same basic purpose, and the answer is so simple, I'm sure that's the reason we have overlooked it for so long. We've been looking for a tougher answer, one that elevates mankind, us. But what we missed is that our purpose here isn't about us at all. We are here to serve God. And we do that best by finding out who we are based on what our gifts are, and then giving them back to create positively instead of tear down negatively. Some folks can build and repair things, some folks can heal and comfort, others can teach, some can paint pictures and make music, some can string words together in a way that informs or otherwise influences others to see things in a new way. The point is, everyone is born with the potential to serve and inspire others to look up and thereby serve God. Now, I know this ain't earth-shattering news, and frankly, I'm thinking if it catches on, there's going to be some mighty disappointed people. You know, the ones who have made it a living out of trying to find the answer. I think most of these folks would much rather search for the answer than find it anyways. But I tell you, next time you hear a baby cry, maybe you'll have a little bit more respect for the little thing, knowing that he or she is full of the very same purpose as even the most important among us has. No better, no grander, no no different. We're all the same to our loving Father in heaven. And the only thing that sets us apart is our willingness to be a part of the solution instead of the problem. Well, I guess that's all I had to say. Till next time then.